Alright, hi guys. I'm Mr. Genio. I'm a teacher here at St. Andrews Secondary School. Very welcome to this video where I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the elective of electronics. Now, you've come to a point in your life where you have to kind of decide certain things like your electives, what sort of electives you're going to choose for your Sec 3 and Sec 4. Now, do not take this lightly, because when you choose electives, you're going to have to live with it for 2 years, Sec 3, Sec 4. And at the end of the 2 years, you're going to sit for an O-level paper that is going to kind of affect your tertiary education. So I'm here to help you make an informed choice. So starting off, number one, what is electronics? So electronics is the study of electrical systems, about electrical components, and how you're going to integrate all of that into one big system. Okay, from small subsystems, you're going to integrate that into big systems. Number two, why should you study it? Basically, when you study electronics, you're going to study the future. Now, actually, we are already living in the future with handphones and smart cars and so forth. So we're actually living in the future right now. And by studying electronics, you are going to have a sort of an insight into what makes up your future in terms of the hardware. Number three, what electronics is not. We are not going to teach you coding. Okay, so there's no coding involved. Might be good news, might be bad news for some of you. I know a lot of you like coding, and it's going to actually make your life easier when you get into the nuts and gritty bolts of making things work on your breadboard. But fortunately, unfortunately, there's no coding that's going to be taught to you in this course. Okay, 4. Where you're going to learn it right here, what you see behind me is the electronics room. We are on the 6th floor, A601, and this is where we're going to have your lessons. It's a very nice room. It's decked out with all the fancy equipment that you'll need. MOE and the school has spent a lot of money on all this just to get you up to date with the latest equipment that even some of the industry players use. Okay, so enough of that. So that's the brief introduction. Right now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn on some slides in the computer, and I'm going to kind of walk you through some information you need to help you make a better decision. Okay, so right now, you're going to see me shrink all the way to your bottom left corner, and yeah, get ready for some more information. See you right now. Okay, so nice to see you again. As you can see, I'm all squished up at the corner of your screen right now. So like I said previously, this is more information to help you decide whether or not electronics is the subject for you. Okay, so what is O-level electronics? Now, O-level electronics, it is an elective, right? So you choose. Not everyone does it, and it can be used as a subject during your O-levels. After you get your O-level cert, it can be used as a subject to help you choose a tertiary education choice. So what it is it's a study of electricity, analog, digital electronics, engineering, design processes. It's all on the screen right here in front of you. Now, what do all these things mean? Let me try to break it down for you, right? Electricity, you know what that is. Analog and digital electronics, that's two different kinds of electronics that kind of run the world, and how they interact with each other, all that. I'll be teaching you how they interface with each other. And the engineering design process, that's very important. How do you look at an engineering project, and how do you go from the start to the end of that project? There is a process involved. Now, syllabus. So the syllabus itself is broken down into these main topics. Well, again, you can read it for yourself. Don't worry too much about what each of those mean. You can pause it here. You can go Google search each term. But if you do take up this subject, we will be teaching you what all these things mean. All right. And the last part, the engineering design process, what we are going to do is that we are going to integrate all the theory you learned before that, and we're going to let you build a project. This is a coursework subject. Therefore, there will be a coursework project involved. You will be graded on that, and that will take up 30% of your total grade. Now, what does the coursework project look like? Roughly, it looks similar to what you see on the screen here. A lot of chips, a lot of resistors, wires, all these being placed on a breadboard in order to get an output once you key in or touch an input. Don't worry, again, like I said, don't be too scared or intimidated by this. You will be guided in a very systematic step-by-step way on how to achieve this final outcome. Okay, but if you are interested in knowing what you have to build as part of your coursework, this will give you an idea. Stuff on the breadboard, basically. Next, why should you choose electronics? Interest. I'll be honest with you. It's going to be very hard for you to do well if you're not interested in the least bit of what electronics is, how it works. So let me give you an example. If you have always wanted to see what a radio looks like inside, and you have kind of taken a screwdriver and taken that radio apart, or if you have ever wondered, hey, how does the information you press on a controller send information to the TV, for example, or the aircon, which I'm enjoying right here. So if you ever asked yourself these things, if you have ever done these things, then yeah, electronics might be the thing for you. Okay, so interest, very important. Next, there's going to be a huge demand for engineers in the future. If these past 2 months have shown us anything, is that we rely on technology a lot, and it's just going to accelerate the demand for engineers in the future. Next 10-20 years, easy, more and more engineers will be needed. Okay, so you're going to get into a sector that is in demand. That's one thing, and the pay ain't too bad either. It's not the best, I'll be honest with you, but it's not too shabby either. Next, you're going to get a head start in the polys and the universities. Basically, what you're learning here, I would dare say that it's one of the modules that a lot of poly students take when they study mechatronics, electronics, things like that in the polys. Yeah, so you're actually getting a head start of your peers. And I'll be honest with you, the first time I saw some of these chips was when I was in university. So you studying it when you're 15 or 16 will really give you a head start if you do go to an engineering course in the universities. Yeah. Next, how to problem solve, because I guarantee you, every time you fix up a circuit, something will go wrong. Yeah, it doesn't work how you want it to work the first time. Don't ask me why. It just is. So then you're going to have to problem solve and find out what is wrong. And in that process, you're going to learn more about how to approach problems and find solutions. Lastly, engineers. We are going to be at the forefront of technology. We are living in the future right now. A lot of things that we use, a lot of things that we do just 20, 30 years ago would have been science fiction. But right now we can talk to cars, we can talk to smartphones, we can talk to a little black box called Alexa or Google. It's amazing. So all that works and happens because of engineers. Okay. And if, like I said, if you want a head start on your engineering career, on your engineering studies, this is a course that you want to be looking at. Okay, so that's some details. Basically, to summarize, the why, I think it's evident enough. The what, 30% coursework, 70% theory. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it is going to be very rewarding when you finish learning about the theory and you build out your own circuit and you see stuff work for the first time. It is going to be very rewarding. Okay, it's going to be 6 periods a week. There's going to be a lot of hands-on involved. You're going to be fixing up a lot of stuff. So that if that's up your alley, if that's your cup of tea, go for it. Okay, so I'm going to expand my body right now. Yeah, you're going to see a full-size picture of me right now. Okay, so that was it. So that's electronics in a nutshell. I know it's a very, very brief video. It's definitely not going to be enough to answer all your questions, but don't worry. If you do have any more questions, you can email me at yo_haig_gene@moe.edu.sg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my email address kind of right under my head here. You can email me any questions. So right now, take the time, review the video if you need to, and talk it over with your parents. Remember, this is going to affect your next 2 years of your life, so it's not a decision to be taken lightly. Speak it over with your parents, come to an informed decision, make your choice, and I will see some of you in this course in the year 2021. Take care.